Hey guys, how you doing? Ronsanut here. I got a special package from a friend that I met out on Monster PC. You really need to check it out. Some awesome people there, great modders with some, and many of them with a lot of creative special skills. And so I have a surprise for the system, and I'm opening up the package right now. So let's see here. See what we got. Oh, check this out, man. Some awesome. Oh, look at that. Let's see. You think those colors match? I think they friggin' match perfectly. That's great, man. Nice job, Mundi. This is going to go into Clockwork Orange. So definitely excited. Check it out. Looking awesome from Mundi Valor. Does some awesome work. I've got Pci Express number 1, Pci Express number 2, Pci Express number 3, Pci Express number 4 for the graphics cards. Then we have EPS cable number 1, EPS cable number 2, and of course our fantastic 24-pin power supply cable. And then a special little item in the package is an LED strip. Nicely sleeved, even white. So thanks, Mundi. Psyched. I'm going to go ahead and install these in the case. So this one, I think I'm going to install them. You're going to see this shot without. Or what about this? Got those beautiful custom cables in there, thanks to Mundi Valor. And Bitphoenix Alchemy cables are really nice and they look great and they're inexpensive. But when you get an opportunity to get some custom cables in your rig, I think you take that opportunity. So yeah, these look really good. Alright guys, we're getting there. We have these wonderful cables here installed, the ATX power, and we have the PCI Express cables. Now, remember, these water blocks are a black and orange theme here, and there's LEDs in here that are going to light up orange for these blocks. So these cables were 6+2, but I only need 6 pins on these PCI Express connectors for these GTX 680s. And so I removed the +2, which were white. Now, since the blocks here are black and orange, I think the black and orange look good on there too. And then down here where you have the motherboard and the case and the orange and the black and the white mixing together, you have that, and same thing down here. So hopefully that it's going to look even better when everything's lit up, but I think it looks good. I'm going to do my best to try to, you know, dress these cables a little bit more evenly if I can. But right now that's the way they're going to rock and roll to be right now. And I hope that thinking it's coming out good. Now, I did get some cabling in. So I received the orange cable here for the power to the Aquero fan controller. So I ran that, and it's kind of mixed in with these other orange fan cables, and it goes behind the 360 rad, and then it comes up out the back, and I'll show you where it's powered up, but it's run out the back. I also put a black plug. I don't know if you can see that. There's the Case Labs gives you plugs that you can fit in any of these holes if you don't want to use them. The round holes, actually there's only a few. They don't give you plugs for the cable management holes. So I put that in there to make it a nicer, cleaner look. I actually had a cable going through that, but it didn't look good. One orange or black cable just sticking through that hole. So I used the plug and to give it a little bit cleaner look. And let's see what else I got. The last thing that I want to do before I fill it is I've decided to put, I posted on Facebook, and if you guys haven't already gotten to my Facebook page, I'd recommend you do that, because during builds, oftentimes, you know, when I lay out the videos, I tell you what I plan to do, and then you've seen me change it a number of times. Well, sometimes I'm not sure, and you guys are so sharp, and you guys have some great ideas, so I post a picture and usually in a comment of what I want to do or what I'm thinking about or what I'm stuck on, and I've gotten some great ideas. I think already in this video log I've changed a couple of things based on feedback that you guys have given me. I actually put this 45 degree in because of a comment somebody made, and then also I swapped the inlet. Originally I had this tube going over here, crossing over, and you know, it slipped my mind that this Raystorm has a finish piece, and you can flip the block over and not have any problems. So those are things that I'm just too close to it, and sometimes you guys sitting back looking at it going, well, you know what, maybe I'll do it this way, maybe I'll do it a different way, or I would, you know, if I had that opportunity. Well, I get a chance to ask, and you guys get a chance to comment and feedback. I may not take your suggestion, but so far, a couple of things that I didn't consider or I had a question on, you guys helped me out. And so more recently, I realized that in some of my other rigs, if you've watched some of my other videos, I use Coolant's quick disconnects quite a bit. And I use them because it makes it so easy to maintain or drain the loop. Like for example, if you had quick disconnects coming to the motherboard or here, I can easily disconnect it and up here and then remove the tray. The problem is the quick disconnects are not the sexiest looking connectors. I mean, they're stainless steel, they do the job, they do what they're designed to do, but they don't look that hot. So to introduce one of those into this loop, you know, it could be done, but I don't want to do that. So the other option is to make it easy to drain, is to put a drain valve somewhere, you know, in here. So I was thinking originally at the bottom of this, but that looks pretty cool. It's nice and clean, and I guess it might come, if I did a nice job, depending on how I did it, it might look pretty cool. But I posted a note on that on Facebook with this picture, probably without the cables, and somebody said, well, isn't there a fitting in the back of your reservoir and pump base? And I forgot it. You know, it's out of the way, and I'm always showing you guys this shot. There's actually a plug back here. So I've got some fittings that, and a T-valve. I think I got enough pieces. I'm actually going to plan to put a drain valve out the back. So you may see it sticking out or maybe not, but at least I'll have it so that if I need to drain the loop, I can just you know, connect up to that, run a little pod out the bottom and the front, and drain the system very easily. So so again, that's just another example of you know, you guys helping me out or helping me think about things that are maybe pretty obvious, but I'm too close to it, and I'm just I'm really psyched. I want to get this guy filled up, and I want to start you know, loading software and start using the system, and especially configuring the Aquero controller to control the noise and control the fans and keep the system cool, also with being quiet. So I got all that stuff to show you and do. So anyway, right now you see got the cables installed. Like I said, I'm going to try to pretty these up a little bit better, so they look a little bit nicer. They're not, you know, they don't have these V's here or whatever. So I'm going to work on that. But right now I'm going to work on putting in the drain loop. I've got some fittings here. I got to go get the T valve. Oh, and before I do that, let me show you how I wound up with the cabling in the back. I think I got it all done. All right, let's see, we got some good light for you. All right, so most everything, I have to still make some tie wrap some of this stuff down, but I think that's pretty much all I've got to do. I've got the power cable for the Aquero. There's one power cable that's needed for the Power Adjust Ultra in the top. So that guy comes down, and that guy connected here. And then the other one that plugs into the main Aquero fan controller comes out and is looped around, and it's plugged in right here. So I still have the X station, the Bits Power X station, powering up all my LEDs. I also have I have some other LEDs that I need to install, and I still have a power connection on here. So that's great. And also Mundy, who did these awesome extension cables, also gave me an LED strip too that has Molex, and I haven't fired this up yet, so I don't know what color it is. I don't know if it's orange or white or whatever, but I will be plugging that out and we'll be checking it out, and this guy might wind up going into the case too. So again, that's mostly cosmetics though. That's taking care of the lighting, but that's the cabling. So it does need to be some more right angles and tie wraps, but I don't think that looks too bad. I'm sure you guys might have some other ideas for cabling up, but given where I got to put the SSDs and the hard drives, those things can only be in one place. I do need to plug in a power cable. I haven't gotten the last orange, data cable, SATA data cable from Performance PCs. It was back ordered, so when I fire up the system, I'm going to have to put in a black one, I guess, for now. But everything else is in here. I got all of the Pci Express cables coming through here, so I'll be messing with, make sure they're clean. But nothing's tacked down to the back of the motherboard tray, although I really won't be removing it, because to remove it I got to drain the system. But still, designed to be slid out, so I haven't compromised that in any way. I've got all the cables dressed nice and neatly here. Everything to a point where I can still close the back door. So that's pretty much it. And like I said, some tie wraps, some nice little dressing, and we're ready to rock and roll. This is the pump power here in RPM, so I will be disconnecting out that when I connect up the pump, the temporary power to the pump, to do the leak, to fill and the leak check. So, all right. Now let me get some fittings, and let's mess with putting a drain valve in this guy and see how good it comes out, how good it looks. All right, so here are the bits power pieces anyway that I have to come up with this drain valve. So basically I got to come out of the back of the pump with a right angle. So just think of it as if this wasn't here, coming straight out of there. So if I got that going on, I'm going to need either this right angle right here to come out of that with, and then I'm going to go down, and I will need something like this, right? So these two guys. And then I got to come around, and I think this works good because I have, it's a triple rotary or a snake. So if I have this in here, this allows me to swivel things around to where I need to go. And then I needed, since this has got no threads on it, it's a female, I got here, this is a rotary extender, all right, with a male to male. So I've got that, and then I'll have me the T. So it looks like that's it, and then of course I'll put a plug at the end, which I know I have. So it looks like that's it. Now hopefully that's not too long, and that's just about the right spacing to put. But otherwise I'm going to have to come up with a shorter extender here, and I have to dig around and see what I got. So if you're interested in any of these parts, this is right here, we're talking about the 90-degree rotary extender. That is this guy right here, so that's the 90-degree. Then we have a matte black, just rotary extender. That's this guy right here, so he's an extender and he's got a rotary on him. Then we have a 40mm extender, and then of course the T valve there is a matte black mini valve with black handle. So so that's it, and then I'm sure a bits power or a monsoon plug will go into the end of here. And this is how you shut the valve off. Seals it up. Lets it go. All right, so it looks like it's working out okay. I've got the right angle rotary on the back of the pump top. Then I've got the extender, and then I have the snake or the triple rotary here. And then I have the extender, and now what I got to do is, actually I got to put a plug on this. So anyway, I'm going to try to do this. Actually, probably what I'll do is, since this has this, the snake, the rotary, I'll flip it out to the back here where I have plenty of space. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So let me go get a cap for this end, and I'll put it on there. Oh, one of the beautiful things about having a snake or triple rotary down there is that you can actually, I can turn it enough that actually it comes, it'll come all the way up here. And then I have the rotary on the other end of it, so it's pretty flexible how I need to how I might need to adjust it to be able to connect tubing up or whatever. So right now we've got the drain in there, and it's just down back out of the way. All right, a little few things to dress up and tighten up, and let's get some valve and tubing together and get ready to pour coolant in there. And let me get a auxiliary power to connect to the pump and get the camera set up that we can see this guy fill. All right, this orange is not quite the orange that I'm looking for, so I'm gonna yellow and red make orange. I've got some red Mayhem's dye right here. We're gonna put a couple of drops in and see if I can get this just a little bit orangier. Is that a real word? I don't know. It is now. All right, let's see. I'm just gonna see if a little dab will do her. I'm gonna put in, let's see here. Wow, let me mix. I haven't used this in a while. Brand new, sitting in my shelf. Okay, I just put in 1 drop. Let's see. I think it's gonna need more than that. You can see the red getting in there. Now, I think it's getting. I think this is the trick. Just adding a little bit of red dye to it. Not there, huh? Not there yet. Needs to get a little bit more. I'll put another drop in. All right, that's 5 drops. What do you think? Definitely better than it was. And I don't know what that looks like in the camera to you guys, but I think that's about the closest I got to the D-knock, and that's what's showing up. It's pretty close to that. All right, guys, we've got my Mayhem's concentrate with 5 more drops of red to get it to, I think, pretty close orange for my rig. And now I got to power up the pump. You see I have paper towels strategically placed throughout the system there to hopefully catch any leaks anywhere. I tightened up all of the fittings everywhere throughout the whole loop. Make sure everything was tight. I made sure they were tight as I was putting it together, but I just did a once over. All right, so I've got a wipe up spill rag. Hopefully I don't need it. Those of you who have seen my 600T ash video, if you haven't, go check it out. There's one called The Leak Show, and it is a perfect example of what happens when you don't make sure you check everything. And in that video I leaked from down here because I didn't have the reservoir, the tube, tightened enough to the base that I was using. And also I had a couple issues where when I was filling it up, I didn't have the I had a different kind of top, but the way I had a fill port in that system, and I didn't have a top on here, and it splashed out because I was filling it too fast. So those were the 2 problems that I had with that. So of course I made sure this guy is nice and tight. I think everything else is secured, and I've checked everything. So what I'm going to do now is, even before I put in the power to this, you always want to make sure you never ever run your pump dry. So I'm going to start putting some coolant in now to get the pump wet and get some coolant in there. And so when it's a little primed, then I'll plug it in, and then I'll control it to power. So Well, I'm just afraid, just in case, I plug this in and for whatever reason I hit the power switch on this thing and the pump goes or something weird. I just don't want to take any chances. So what I'm going to do now is, you won't see it, but I'll be pouring the coolant in above the frame of the picture because my funnel sticks up above there. But you'll see it coming into here, and that is the fill point on there. And so yeah, let's get started. And this is the color that I came up with, and I think it came out pretty damn good. I just used these. There's a new Mayhem's concentrate that they made to closer match the Gigabyte Orange, I guess. The first one is just a little light. It was light for me, so I added 5 drops of Mayhem's red, and we got this. So here. Okay, we got coolant going down. And there's also the drain in the back there, so let's be a little bit. All right. I'm taking a look now to see if I have any leakage anywhere at all. I don't see anything yet. You guys getting this? Let's see how much battery power we have. Oop. Okay, I had a couple of, I don't have any other air in this system, so right now let's I'm going to power it up. Plug in the, I'm going to plug in the pump. Okay. We have the pump power lead connected up. And so let's see here. So far I don't see any leakage yet. We'll turn the pump on really quick. Just in case you've never used Mayhem's coolant, this is the concentrate. So what you're going to do is take one of these bottles and you mix it with 750 milliliters of deionized or distilled water. And so I have that right here. So I'm using some distilled water, and I have a thing that measures 750 mils, and then I'm going to take one of these. And what I like to do is I just keep them separate. I pour this into another bottle, and I think this bottle is like 1,000 milliliters. So so I'm pouring in the concentrate. So I've got that, and now we add the 750 mil of distilled water. And that actually just takes it, it's perfect, this bottle that I have here for mixing Mayhem's. I mean, I got it right up to the tippity top. And then in order to get the right color orange, you can see that what I have in there is definitely darker, and this orange is just a little too light. It's kind of creamsicle orange. So what I'm going to do is what I did before. I experimented and found that if I mix 5 drops of this into the original concentrate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I mix that, I get the color of coolant that you see in the reservoir right now. So I've got 5 in there. I'm gonna mix them up.
Dodge this. This.
All right, I see I have some leak, a little bit of drip right down here. So I'm gonna tighten that up. You got a little bit of drip right down. So we got it tightened up. It was where the aqua tuning inline sensor, the coolant sensor is that you tap right into. That's where the few drips were coming out. So I got it tightened up. I didn't tighten it up, I guess, as much as I thought I did. So let's see now. We'll continue on.
This.
All right, well, she's been running now for almost 24 hours. After about the first hour, all of the air was out of it. And I just topped it off some, brought the coolant level up a little bit in the reservoir in the tube. And no other leaks. The only leaks that we had originally were right down there at that temperature, inline temperature probe into the rad. But after I cleaned that up, it just dripped onto the paper towel, as it should. And now we've got it good to go. The coolant, the Mayhem's Gigabyte concentrate, I added roughly seven drops of Mayhem's red to get it to the color that it is now. And that's 7 drops per liter. Let me show you. I did add a few things while it was bleeding last night. Let me turn this around and show you some of the cabling. And then I have one other thing that I added, minor, some fan grills to the top of the case. I don't think you can see them. Yeah, you can't see it from there. So let me turn this around. All right, so I have all the cables run, tie wrapped down. I have, tied them away in a corner along the top. And then the only thing I need to secure now is the pump's still running right now. This is the pump lead. I'm going to tie wrap that up. And then I'm going to make sure the back door fits on this. All right, so we have that done. You see all the cables tightened up. Now I'm going to go grab the door and put them on here. Make sure that the door closes. Okay, we have the door. And let's see. All right, got the door on there. Actually, this piece was sticking out because of this plastic cap that I had shown you that goes in the grommet hole on the other side. That actually pushed the Bits Power X station out enough, and so what I've done now is it popped out when I pushed it back. So that was the only thing keeping the door from closing and staying closed. So now, what that means is on this side you can actually see the back of the PCB, but that's okay because it's got an orange LED on it, so it's probably going to provide some light. So there she blows. I've got all the paper towels removed now, and that coolant with that extra drop looks like that looks really good. at least in the lighting that I have here now on the camera, with all the bright lights from the studio lighting that I provide, it seems to lighten it up a little bit. But I put in another drop, and it looks like that's pretty damn good. I think it looks good. Oh well. I hope it stays like that. It doesn't get any lighter, and I wouldn't expect it would get any darker. But let me go find the original grommet that goes into that hole and see if I can put that in so you have a little black on white around that hole. If not, then I'll just leave it like that. That even the other grommet that goes over that hole down there, and the side panel won't fit. It's too thick. It'll push the Bits Power X station out and affect the door from closing. So without any grommet or plug right now is the way to go. I'm sure I'll come up with something at some point to put in that spot. And then I added some grills along the top as well. It's just for looks. Obviously, it's that's an exhaust, so there won't be, shouldn't be any dust accumulating there except when the system's off. And so the system now is ready to be turned on. That little black wire you see back there, that's the infrared to the RGB lighting controller. It's a Phobia controller, and you can't see it, but inside the roof and along the top is the LED strength for that for those lights. Alright guys, so I did my best to clean up the space. Still got some stuff to put away, and here she is, getting ready to be turned on for the first time. So let me get some light back over here. I've got keyboard, mouse installed, plugged in, video display ready to rock and roll. Got power plugged in. I just don't have the switch on. I'm gonna go do that now, and you get to see it with me for the first time. Wish me luck. If this turns on properly, then we should have lights on the CPU block, we should have lights on the GPU block, we should have the pump flowing good, we should have fans cranking. So, and we should see no sparks and no leaks after all the leak checking now that we did. So there we go. Putting the plug in, putting the power supply switch to on, and coming around the side here to hit the power button. Alright, no leaks. I hear fans. I see a lot of lights. Give you a little bit of a look. There's an orange, nice orange glow in there. Alright, well, we got to mess around with some more of that. Alright, we have system coming up. Looks like we got some Windows action. Nice, nice. Alright, well, I'm just going to sit down and make sure everything's working okay, and then we'll put some doors on, and I'll give you some more close-ups here. But that was first time full system turn on with display. Remember, when I had the system on the bench, I had configured the SSDs in RAID, and the only thing that I have to do now is I did add a second Velociraptor, so I want to put those in RAID too. So there's some configuring that I'm going to do to set up, and actually I'll show you how I do that. I have a new device that will take the output of my display, and so you'll see everything. So even if it's going into the BIOS, you'll be able to see that. So I'll work on that, and I'll show you how I configure the RAID, and then when we get into overclocking, I'm going to show you all that stuff too. So yeah, man. Here she's looking pretty good. Actually, let's get a sneak peek of this with all dark lights here. Let me get the lights off here and give you a better look in the dark. How does that look? So it looks like maybe some more light at the bottom of the system. How about that? Alrighty, how's she looking now? I added another RGB light strip at the bottom, and so I have one at the top and the bottom, so it's got now an even lighting, I think, distributed between the two. And I don't know what it looks like in person. Here it's like an orange red, and on camera I don't know if that comes across. Maybe it's a little pink. Let me see if I turn down the light a little bit, how that looks. That looks pretty sharp. So again, it looks a little pinkish maybe on camera, but how about changing some of the color here? Nope. Oh, it's way out. That's a blue. How about that? I think you see the orange a little bit better in that light. So let me get the camera up a little bit closer. Take a look. And here's a shot with the door on it, and that's just what you can see in the window. So you notice you don't see the Aquaro controller. All you see is the tower, the reservoir, the the CPU block, top of the power supply, and the graphics cards. And if we get up a little bit closer and you look inside, having the reverse layout case, you can see these XSPC graphics cards so much nicer. They really look nice like that. So that's the beauty of the reverse layout. You actually get to see the top of the cards. If you're in a standard layout, you got to bend down low and look up inside and check it out. So I think that's one of the benefits. Also, I think heat, and also in this case, the way I have my tubing runs, it's nice. You climb up the case. You start at the bottom, and you work your way up to the top. And then, of course, I have the rad in the front, and it comes down. So, let's see. And you can get a shot of the fans going on in there, the front fans. So what do you think, guys? I think it came out pretty damn nice. I really appreciate everybody's help and feedback on Facebook. So if you guys want to be involved in some more of my builds, the way that it's kind of been evolving, if I got major plans for a build, but as you go through it, you find out you want to change some things and you have some ideas, and some things I may be too close to and I might need some advice or some suggestions. So I do that by asking you guys on my Facebook page. And also, if you guys remember, I mentioned earlier in this video that I've also found some great creative people and ideas on Monster PC. So check out Harry's Facebook page for Monster PC. And there is still more to be done with this system. I need to configure the Aquaro. I need to do some overclocking. I've got to run some benchmarks. And so there's quite a bit of stuff left to do to show you guys how to use the Aquaro and set up fan curves so that the system can run quiet when it's at idle, and then crank up when I'm gaming and I'm pushing it. And you'll actually see all that when I do the overclocking, because as the processor heats up, I'm going to have it trigger kicking in the fan. So that's all stuff that's yet to come. I also plan on doing a kind of a glamour video that'll probably just be a lot of shots of the system as I was building it, and you know, of course, a lot of this finished product along with some music. And really it'll probably be just a, you know, I don't know, 5-minute video, but it'll hopefully capture, you know, the build in, like I said, in separate photos, and then also video at various stages, but all to music. I don't think I'll be saying anything. I'll just put up some of the specs on the system and all that. So that's something to be looking forward to. So that's it for this build log, and I hope you liked it. If you did, please like and favorite, and if you're so inclined, please subscribe. And of course, a big thanks to Mundi Velour for sponsoring those awesome cables for the orange and black and white, and the orange and black cables that we added as a surprise to this build. And also to Performance PCs for sponsoring all of the monsoon fittings, the fan grills, and the coolant. I mean, you name it, just about almost all the alchemy cables that I used in this. There's a ton of awesome pieces for your PC builds that you can get there, and these guys were kind enough to sponsor a good bit of that for this build. And then finally, of course, Case Labs. Jim at Case Labs has been fantastic, and this case is another quality product and a lot of fun to build in. I mean, you just can see the endless opportunities for things, and this was the second version of a build I did in the system. And if you've not seen the first one, it was a air-cooled build, so you know, you can check my playlist and have a look at that. That one was called Thunderstorm, but this one here is Clockwork Orange. So that's it from Ronsanut. For now, thanks for watching.